No notch, no punch hole. Just pure, edge-to-edge iPhone. If the latest leaks are accurate, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to debut. Apple's most advanced display yet with under-display. Face ID powered by micro-transparent glass while keeping all the security and speed of the true depth system we rely on. Before we dive in, remember, everything here is based on leaks, prototypes, and supply chain chatter, so details can shift before launch. But the direction is clear, and it's exciting. Let's start with the headline feature, under display, Face ID. Instead of a visible notch or a punch hole cutout, Apple is reportedly embedding the true depth sensors beneath the display using a specialized layer of micro-transparent glass. This material allows infrared light to pass through to the dot projector, flood illuminator, and IR camera while appearing completely uniform to your eyes. In other words, the sensors see you, but you don't see the sensors. What does that mean in day-to-day use? A cleaner screen that finally feels uninterrupted. Watching videos, gaming, reading, and editing photos all get more immersive because there's no visual distraction at the top of the display. And because this system is built around infrared transmission, not just camera tricks, you still get fast, secure authentication in the dark, under bright sun, and at off angles. The goal is to deliver the same robust Face ID performance. But behind the glass dot to make that possible, Apple is reportedly perfecting the glass itself. Expect techniques like micro-perforation and nano-patterned glass that can precisely guide IR light to the sensors without introducing visible haze, color shift, or grain. The display stack needs to remain uniformly bright and color accurate, even over the sensor area. The engineering challenge is huge. Let the right wavelengths pass, block the wrong ones, and keep the panel tough and visually flawless. If Apple pulls it off, you'll never notice where the sensors live. You'll just notice how clean the screen looks. Now, what about the dynamic island? Leaks suggest it's not disappearing just yet. Instead, expect a refined, smaller, or less intrusive version that blends more naturally into the UI. Apple still believes in glanceable, interactive information music controls, timers, calls, turn-by-turn navigation, sports scores, live activities, and the dynamic island remains the best way to surface that without taking over your screen. The idea here is to keep the utility while minimizing the footprint, so your display feels even more immersive. Combine these changes, and you're looking at Apple's closest step yet to a true edge-to-edge iPhone. Slimmer symmetrical bezels, a distraction-free canvas for everything you do. It's not just a cosmetic upgrade, it's a statement about where iPhone design is heading. More screen, fewer interruptions, smarter UI. Is always with Apple. Expect the biggest leaps to land on the Pro models first. The under-display Face ID system and a redesigned dynamic island are rumored to debut on the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max. That helps Apple manage costs, production yield, and demand while giving early adopters the most cutting-edge features. It also creates a clearer gap between the standard and Pro lines, which we've seen play out with cameras, displays, and chips in previous years. Speaking of chips, performance upgrades are expected to complement the new display hardware. The iPhone 18 Pro lineup is widely rumored to feature next-gen Apple Silicon, often referenced as the A20 Pro, which should deliver stronger AI and imaging performance, smoother animations, and better power efficiency. That matters when you're driving a panel this advanced. The goal is sustained brightness, fluid responsiveness, and all-day battery life without compromise. Let's talk real-world experience, because that's where under-display tech wins or loses. First, Face ID reliability. The promise is the same: near instant unlock and secure authentication even in low light, with hats, with masks in supported scenarios, and with many sunglasses. Under-panel sensors are notoriously tricky, but Apple's advantage is years of tuning the true depth system. Expect a lot of behind-the-scenes work in calibration, noise reduction, an infrared transmission to keep performance at or above current levels. Second, display uniformity. A common problem with under-display components is a faint window effect, slight differences in brightness or texture over the sensor area. The rumored nanopattern glass and micro-perforation aim to erase that. If Apple nails it, you won't see any patches, sparkles, or grain in bright whites or gray backgrounds. Third, accessories and durability. Screen protectors will matter more than ever. Expect Apple and accessory brands to release protectors tuned for under-display Face ID, so IR transmission remains consistent. On durability, the glass stack around the sensor zone has to be as tough as the rest of the panel. Look for improved coatings, reinforced layers, and better adhesives designed to handle drops in temperature swings without impacting sensor accuracy. There are potential trade-offs, and Apple likely knows them well. Brightness and contrast need to stay uniform above the sensor area. Long-term reliability must hold up after thousands of unlocks and years of wear. And repairability could get more complex and more expensive if the most sensitive components are fully integrated under the screen. That's the price of bleeding-edge design. But it's also why Apple tends to roll these features out gradually and only on Pro models at first. Beyond the 18 Pro Max, there's another storyline building: foldable iPhones. Multiple reports suggest Apple is exploring foldable designs, and the work being done on under-display sensors, ultra-thin glass, and hinge tolerance could feed directly into that future. Don't expect the foldable to arrive alongside the iPhone 18, but the research signals where Apple's long-term hardware roadmap may be heading. As for timing, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to arrive around September 2026, in line with Apple's usual schedule. Between now and then, prototypes can change, suppliers can shift, and features can be delayed, but the core vision feels solid: a more immersive display, smarter UI elements, and invisible sensors that just worked. To recap, here's what the leaks point to. The iPhone 18 Pro Max could introduce under-display Face ID using micro-transparent glass, delivering a truly seamless edge-to-edge experience while keeping the security and speed of the True Depth system. The dynamic island may get a subtle redesign, smaller, cleaner, and more integrated, so you still get real-time updates without the visual clutter. Behind it all, advanced glass technologies like nanopatterning and micro-perforation aim to keep the panel tough, bright, and uniform. Expect Pro-first exclusivity, next-gen performance potentially from an A20 Pro chip, and a design that sets the stage for Apple's future, including the possibility of foldable hardware down the line. If you're excited about an iPhone with no visible cutouts, stronger performance, and a display that finally feels like pure screen, the iPhone 18 Pro Max might be the one to watch. Keep an eye on the leaks, and as we get closer to launch, we'll see which of these innovations make it into the final product.